Okay, absolute dating methods is clear, is it? Relative dating methods. Okay. Relative dating methods. So, what is the importance of relative dating methods? What are relative dating methods, first of all? Relative dating methods are not absolute. Not absolute. Is it? But of course, both absolute dating methods and relative dating methods, both are scientific methods. Both are scientific. But some methods are absolute, some are not absolute. That means they are relative. That means relative methods are definitely scientific. They are scientific, but not absolute. They are relative. Is it? First line. Why they are known as relative? What is the reason? They are just comparative methods. Yeah. So these methods, also known as comparative methods, or just these methods are based on some known facts. That means on the basis of some other facts, we analyze the approximate age of that fossil or monument. That means relative dating methods are useful to analyze the age of both monuments and fossils. Both monuments and fossils. Is it? So they are not absolute, they are just relative. They are just comparative methods based on known facts. That means scientists or technicians analyze the age of that fossil or bone or any artifact not on the basis of that artifact, on the basis of some other material which is available in the site, or that may be rough estimation, may be related to the same fossil or same, but that is rough estimation, that's it. That means relative dating methods never give absolute data, but they give approximate data related to the age of that fossil or monument. Write that first. Relative dating methods are not absolute, but scientific. Is it? They are scientific, but not absolute. They are based on some known facts. They are comparative methods. These methods are useful to analyze the age of both fossils and artifacts or tools. These methods give only approximation of yes. That means these methods are useful to understand the relative age, not absolute age. That's why they are known as relative. Name itself relative. Is it? Yeah, they're simple comparative methods. Yeah, based on some other factors, other known facts, is it? Yeah. Then, why these relative methods are more prominent? If both absolute and relative methods, why these relative methods are prominent? Is it relative methods are prominent or absolute methods are prominent? If this is the question, relative methods are more prominent than the absolute. Not absolute. Relative are more prominent. Relative are more prominent and widely used. Throughout the world, even today, relative methods are more popular than the absolute methods. Trace it first. Next paragraph. Relative methods are more useful than the absolute. These are widely used methods. Why? What is the reason? Absolute dating methods have a lot of limitations. Absolute dating methods, is it? Have maximum limitations. What are that? War method, applicable only for the glacial region. Dendrochronology method, useful only for wooden monuments. Is it? At the same time, C14 method, carbon dating method, only useful for not only fossil, at the same time by using that, one can trace up to 50,000 BP only, before present only. So, each and every method has its own limitations. So, absolute methods give definite, almost perfect information, but they are also limited in number. Is it? They are useful only for some specific, not for all. Again, they have a lot of limitations. Is it? Write that. Absolute methods are not applicable to trace the age of all fossils and artifacts. They have their own limitations. They have their own limitations. Give example also. For example, yeah, war method is applicable only for glacial regions. Dendrochronology method is useful only for wooden monuments. Then by using C14 method, one can trace the fossil age up to 50,000 BP only. Is it? Before present BP, is it? Means we can't say any absolute methods are there. Even potassium argon method is useful to trace the age of the rocks and earthen layers. Definitely that is no way useful to trace the age of the fossils. Due to these limitations, is it? Then scholars are more dependent on relative methods. That means relative methods are most popular, widely used dating methods, not the absolute. Not the absolute. That's why if you check the old papers, which one is more frequently given? Relative methods. Is it? Many times they give this to either relative method or absolute methods, but many times they are giving relative methods. Not only that, even the tracing. Even though absolute methods are available, why archaeologists are depending on relative methods? Means, if this is the question, what to write? This is the answer. This is the answer. Yeah. Not only this, just I had given hint. Is it? Again, you have to expand all. That means limitations of absolute. That is the question. That is the question. Yeah. That means indirectly they are asking, what are the limitations of absolute? Even though absolute methods are available, why archaeologists are more dependent on relative methods? So explain any two relative methods and its prominence in archaeology. Then what to write here? Same. Introduction, same thing. Is it? Yeah. What are relative methods? What is the prominence, significance of relative methods? Then you explain either 2 or 3, whatever the number they asked. Yeah. So something like that it goes on. Is it? That means absolute methods first. Is it? Give what is absolute. Write again relative. Then compare these two. Limitations particularly there. Is it? Again, how broad perception the relative methods have. That's why they ask almost this question. Yeah. So, what is the prominence? What is the significance? Why archaeologists are more dependent on relative? Something they ask such a questions. Yeah. That means name only absolute. There is no any absoluteness in the methods. Strictly speaking, the absolute methods are limited. Limited. The methods numerically limited, application also limited. Understand what I am saying? Yeah. Carbon dating. Carbon dating method 180 plus or minus statistical errors. Again, in atmospheric C14 is not static. Is it? Yeah. The percentage of C14 atmosphere is more flexible, that means disturbing one. It's not a constant one. Is it? Yeah. C14 dating is absolutely useful when the atmospheric C14 percentage is static. If that is continuously goes on changing, depend on why the carbon C14 percentage is more flexible in atmosphere. What is the reason? Solar activity, magnetic activity. Yesterday we discussed that. I had given that points also. Is there or not? Is it? Yes. Yes. Is it? Yeah. That means definitely each and every method has its own drawbacks, limitations. The name only absolute. 100% not absolute. Something like that. Again, by using war method, finding fossil, finding any monument is totally accidental. No guarantee for that. Time waste. Again, only Scandinavian countries only useful. Dendrochronology method. Just wooden monuments only. That too particularly, if oldest trees are available, then only you can apply that, otherwise you can't apply that. Old trees are not there, aged trees are not there, then how can you apply? Is it? You can't apply. Is it? So, each and every method has its limitations. But absolute, of course. This question only many times they give. Why relative methods are more prominent? Is it? Means absolute methods, drawbacks you have to write first. Then go for any two. Is it? Relative method. Whatever, 2 or 3, whatever the number they ask, write that one. So, like that. Yeah. Then, okay, next. The relative methods, what are that? These are the relative methods. Yeah. The most prominent relative dating methods are given below. Something. Stratigraphic method, pollen method, fluorine method, collagen method, nitrogen method, serration method. First, stratigraphic method. See the term strata, stratigraphic method. Stratigraphic method is a geological method proposed by Charles Lyell, Lyell, Lyell. So, stratigraphic method is a geological method proposed by Charles Lyell. The famous text, The Principles of Geology, written by Lyell only. Okay, whatever, that's not the dimension here. But of course, in that book only he explained all this. Lyell. See, stratigraphic method, strata. Strata means earthen layer. That means this method is based on the layers of the earth. Okay, next point, that one only. This method is based on the layers of earth. In bracket, strata means layer. See, this is very simple, this is not at all a extraordinary method, very simple method. So archaeologists or geologists or paleontologists or any, first they select one site, that may be river basin or any mound, is it? Yeah. They select one site, then they dig it vertically. Then after digging vertically, then they analyze. See, Son Valley. In Son Valley, they conducted number of archaeological excavations. Not only in Son Valley, even in what is that in Madhya Pradesh, Bhimbetka. Also, they constructed number of excavations. That means first they select one site, then after digging vertically, they analyze it. See, the bottom layers indicate earlier, the top layers indicate recent. Something here in some caves or in some riverbed, is it? Yeah. Something, if they identify any fossil or any tools, something lower. Something. First layer, second layer, one after, they analyze. Something, okay. So something after digging one layer after they analyze. So some rock, something just simple cutted, then some sharpen, some different designs, again. That means each layer indicating some sort of variation. That means these tools almost in the same layer. Okay, all these tools they used at a time. This all tools used at a time means here to here some change is there, here to here some change is there, means this tool belongs to one period, this tool belongs to another period, this is another period, this is another period. Gradually first they used this type of tools, then technology change. Yeah. So here three-dimensional came, then different types of axes came, then toys making came here, sickles are here, earlier sickles are not there. That means the stratigraphic method is based on, first of all, superposition. The law of superposition. That means, so according to geology, the earthen layers form one after the other. That position of layers one after the other itself is known as superposition of the layers. Then according to this, lower layers indicate earlier, top layers indicate the recent. The tools or artifacts which belongs to the lower is a primitive. The tools and artifacts which belongs to the top are advanced. Is it? Then middle one. So middle one only. That means this method is useful to understand and analyze the different periods, change in the technology, even change in the environment. Here some pollen grains are there, here different are there, here again change, means due to climatical change, the plants also end. Here some pollen grains available, they are jasmine one, here rose one, here another one, here some another. That means first this plants came, again this plants came, again this plants came. First here Dryopithecine fossils are there, then after next layer, here also then ape fossils are there, here Homo habilis is there, here Homo erectus is there, then here Neanderthals are there, here Homo sapiens are there. Same skulls continued. Oh, that means this is the first fossil, second fossil, third fossil. This is a line of evolution. They can understand. That means really absolute methods are after all useful to identify the age. After all. But relative methods are useful to not only understand and even to analyze, understand, analyze and evaluate the cultural progress, evolutionary progress, the sequential order in which they occurred, in which they came into existence. They are useful to understand how technological changes occurred, how cultural changes occurred, how civilizational changes occurred one after the other stage. Is it? What are the most primitive one? What are the advanced one? That means the stratigraphic method is useful to analyze and understand the evolutionary process of the tools and technology, the evolutionary process of culture, biology, human evolution, animal evolution. At the same time, one can understand all these tools belong to this period. That means periodization. Is it useful to understand archaeological periods, prehistoric periods, tool technology, tool progress, evolution, evolutionary aspects, gradual change in culture, tools, artifacts? Means which method is the best one? Which method is the best one? Relative is the best one. Absolute methods. Of course, name only absolute. Where is absoluteness? Roughly you can say, okay, this fossil is this much. Okay, if that is 50 years less, 50,000 years less, yes, we can say that. Okay. Sure. Before what? After what? In evolutionary position, where it is? No, we can't say anything that. Of course, with that also we can, if 20, 30 fossil ages are completely analyzed, this is 50, this is 40, this is 30, this is 20, this is 10. Okay, we can arise, no problem. No problem, we can arise. That also useful to analyze the evaluation, the evolutionary process of the fossil, of course. But these methods are 100% easily one can understand, one layer after the other. But if any animal activity or human activity or tectonic plate activity or any disturbance in the earthen layers, then that creates confusion also, ambiguity also. That means first the archaeologist should select the site which is not disturbed, where human activity is completely prevented. Of course, even in human activity, that also the conduct excavations, of course, but lower layers 100% they can analyze. Inner human activity is completely nil, no? Sure. So something like that. Read that one only. Yeah. Stratigraphic method. Yeah. Next paragraph. This method is based on a simple principle, that is law of superposition. Law of superposition. Explain that one also. That means lower layers indicate the earlier periods. The upper layers indicate the recent periods. This method is useful to understand, analyze and evaluate the tools, tool technology, artifacts and the technological changes fossils, the evolutionary process of the fossils and the progress of socio-cultural aspects. By using this method, one can understand which tools or artifacts came first and how gradually changes occurred in tool technology and the designing of tools. Next, but the researchers should select the site carefully where human, animal or tectonic disturbances are not there. Tectonic disturbances are absent. So that means human intervention, animal intervention and tectonic intervention where all the disturbances are absent. First the researcher should select such a site. Otherwise, we can't give any guarantee for that. So, stratigraphic method, geological method, law of superposition. Is it? Yeah. Then, pollen analysis. See, pollen analysis is a botanical method. Write it directly. Pollen analysis is a botanical method. Botany. Also known as palynology. Analyzing of pollen grains. Pollen grain analysis. So many times we discussed, of course, these pollen grains are very specific, species specific. In each and every species, these pollen grains are very specific. That means in some species that may be some dot-like, in some another species that may be like that, in another species that may be something like this, in another that may be something, in another that may be something, in another that may be something like that. That means in each and every species, the pollen grain structure, length, thickness, width, these are all different. That means after seeing pollen grain itself, we can speak. This is a jasmine, this is a rose, this is another, something like that. What are these pollen grains particularly? The pollen grains are male reproductive parts of a flower. Is it? Anther, antheridia, pollen. Is it? Yeah. A small tiny granule like particles, of course. So they have a defined shape, depend upon the species. That means the structure is species specific. At the same time, they store in the soil permanently without any change. Safely they preserve in the soil. Some lakhs of years, millions of years, they store it. Perfectly they store in the soil. So on the basis of that, the botanists understand what type of plant it is. Just like in anthropology, we are studying something, Dryopithecus. Dryopithecus 22 millions to almost 2.5 million, that's there. Anthropologists speak about human fossils. Zoologists speak about animal fossils. Botanists speak about this anthers. If leaf structure, this one, oh, this is neem leaf. This is something leaf. So they can understand, botanists. That means if these pollen grains are available in anywhere, along with a fossil or any monument or a tool, then with the help of botanists, this archaeologists, so understand it. Then botanists are saying that this is something plant, this is present in Miocene. After Miocene, they ended. Means, if these pollens are present here, means definitely this fossil also belongs to Miocene. Reason is this is a Miocene plant. After Miocene, such a plants are ended. That means, depend upon these pollen grains, botanists analyze the plant first. What type of plant it is? At which period these plants are survived at the time? Then, on the basis of that botanical knowledge, these archaeologists, is it? Yes. Analyze the age of that fossil, that monument, or that any. What they got along with these pollen grains. See, sometimes the dead body is buried with some pollen is there. 90% in all societies, offering flowers to dead is a cultural practice. They offer flowers to the dead body. The total flower decompose, then finally it's going to mix in the soil. But anther, it never destroy, no? It never going to decompose and mix in the soil. Safely store it. So dead body available. So belongs to which period? We don't know, but pollen grains are there. If we send to the botanical lab, botanists, they trace it. So this plant something survived at the time of Miocene. Oh, this fossils belongs to Miocene. Something. That's why they are known as relative. Yeah. So, what are that only? Next. Pollen grains are male reproductive parts of flower. Their structure is species specific. The structure is species specific. That means our small line, the length, width, thickness are differ from one species to the other. Again, this pollen store or preserve, this pollen or pollen grains, this pollen preserve safely in the earthen layers. or in the earth, mud. If any fossil or any artifact is available along with the stolen, along with the pollen, then technicians or archaeologists analyze years of the tools or fossil with the help of botanists. With the help of botanists. So that is pollen analysis or pollen method. Yeah. Pollen analysis or pollen method or pollinology. So comparative method. Is it relative based on that? Then fluorine method, collagen method, nitrogen method, these three methods are known as chemical analysis methods. These three are chemical analysis methods. Or biochemical methods. Chemical analysis or biochemical methods. Is it? Chemical analysis or biochemical methods useful to analyze the relative age of both fossils and fossils particularly. Analyze the age of the fossils. Okay. See, fluorine is present in the soil, even in the water. Is it? Particularly in the soil only. From soil to it enters into the water also. Of course, present in soil and water. See, something after death, if that bones, so buried somewhere, preserved safely in the soil, is it? Due to flooding or dead bodies buried or whatever. Yeah. Then these bones in the process of fossilification, that means when this bone is going to convert into fossil, in the process of fossilification, bones absorb gradually this fluorine which is present in water or the soil. Then, so after extracting these bones, fossils, they analyze the percentage of the fluorine. Then after analyzing the percentage of fluorine, this much fluorine is there. Okay, maybe approximately this much. Generally a bone for 100 years, it absorbs this much. For 1000 years, it absorbs this much. For 10,000 years, it absorbs this much. No, many skeletons are available on a particular site. In some, the fluorine percentage is very less. In some, fluorine percentage is very high. Means what? If fluorine percent is more, that fossil is old one. If fluorine percent is less, that is the recent one. Is it? That means this method, fluorine method, is definitely useful to not only analyze the age, even this is also useful to evaluate. Is it? Which one came first in that particular site? So these are the first oldest fossils. These are the latest one. Here 20% is there. Here 19% is there. Here 18% is there. 6% is there. 2% is there. Is it? On the basis of that, we can arrange that bones, skeletons. This is the first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth. That means this method also useful to analyze the evolutionary process of that. This one is the first one. Is it? Yeah. See, sometimes they excavate in burial grounds. If a old village, old city, Delhi is very old, Hastinapura at the time, Pandavas time. Pandavas only constructed this one actually. At the time, small village. Village means definitely there must be burial ground. Some people will die. Sure. Then somewhere has to bury. There is a burial ground. If you dig and analyze the burial ground, then we can understand. Yeah. So in some bone, high flooring, that means oldest one. Is it? After this. What are the changes here? We can understand. So something like that, this flooring method is definitely relative. Why relative? Why can't scientific? Absolute. If you are capable to analyze the perfect percentage for 100 years this much, 10,000 years this much, then definitely this is absolute. But due to rain, due to floods, they may transport from one area to one place to the another. 10-20 years back, this is somewhere maybe flooded. That place to this place. Is it? If there is deep buried, of course, it's going to fix. But in outer layer bone, may not be fixed. There, the flooring percentage is very high, here very less. Absorption also based on what? If soil has heavy flooring percentage, such a bones absorb very high flooring. If negligible in the soil, they too absorb negligible only. That is one dimension. No, something not like that. The soil acidic nature is very high here. So, bones absorb very less. In which media they absorb more? Means one should understand first the chemical nature of the soil, should estimate the flooring percentage of the soil. Is it? The composition of the soil. Is it? What type of soil it is? Is it red soil, black soil, alluvial soil? What type this one? In different soils, absorption is different. Is it? That means soil composition, soil texture, soil humidity, soil atmosphere, soil acidity, percentage of flooring, many factors are depend here. That's why statistical errors highly it comes. We can't say anything. But if all bones are preserved in a particular site, there only no disturbance, outer disturbance, nothing is there, then we can analyze. Yes, this is the first reason is flooring percentage is very high. This is very less. Yes, this is the recent one. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. Then again, if rain came, humidity increase. If humidity increase, absorption also increase. Understand what I am saying? Less rain, The rain sinks up to certain level only. Is it? Inner layer absorption is not increased, but outer layer absorption may increase, no? Huh? In rainwater is a pure water. In the world, the purest water that is. Of course, it leaches out. It leaches out. At the same time, due to small rain, the soil humidity will increase, no? Is it? When soil humidity increase, absorbing ability of the bone, is it increase or decrease? Definitely increase. Is it? That means different factors promote different dimensions. We can't say anything. What happened? Is it? How much heavy rain came? Then even though in single site, depend upon high fluorine percentage, you can't say this is the oldest one. But generally we can speak, of course. Generally, roughly we can. Most probably, maybe. That's why they comes under relative. That means each and every factor depend upon many other factors. It's a multifactorial. Each and every phenomena is a multifactorial. We can't say anything. Yeah. That's why some scholars decide this is the date. Next scholar, no, he reject it. He speaks some another. No, this date is something. Again another scholar, no, brother, statistical errors are here. Your method is wrong. This is the correct one. Which one is the correct one? That is the correct one. That's it. God also don't know. Sure. That's why these dates are very typical. Very typical. That means how far it is scientific, tell me. Very scientific nature in it. These are all permutations and combinations, brother, nothing. There is no absolute methods up to now. But of course. These are all relative. Yes. In that sense, we can't do anything. It's better to write that's it. Yeah. If science is absolute, why still people are believing in karma philosophy? Why people are believing even, is it? Yeah. God. If science is really useful to cure all, you can't say anything. Recently, big debates are going on diabetes. What doctors are, is it? Diagnosing, that is totally bogus. There is no diabetes at all. This is the false. The debate is going on now. Yeah. Then, what to do? We can't do anything. Science also a relative fact. Science is not an absolute fact. It's a relative fact. Some other scholar will come, 100% he try to prove the first one is wrong. Then he recommends some another. Next scholar will come, he throw out this one, then he will give his opinion. Means what? Science also based on permutations and combinations. In the name of science. So even human first, they identified how many chromosomes? First, how many chromosomes in human? First, they came to conclude that 48 chromosomes. Then 1956, Tizio Levon proved no 48, just 46. Then the world came to believe that oh, we have 46. Later on, different scholars proved by one extra chromosome is there in woman, bar body. Then again they came to know that By in WBC also extra chromosome is there, drumstick chromosome. Then 23 pairs are correct or wrong? That's it. But we are studying still in books 23 pairs of chromosomes human have. That's it. That's it. That means these are all relative facts, not absolute facts. Fact. Science is a fact. How far? Is it percentage there again? Is it 50% correct and 100% correct? Science is not a 100% truth. Most truth, somewhat. So, something like that it goes on. Something like that. How many hypotheses we have seen? Is it? How many scholars rejected? How many scholars proposed new? Is it not? Yeah. Before going to confirm one thing, 400 theories will come. Theories, hypothesis, that, this, then finally one fixation. Okay. Again a lot of exemptions again. Oh, that's it. That's it. We can't say anything. But of course, we should believe science. Otherwise, yes, nothing. We have to believe it. So, fluorine method. Yeah. What is a fluorine method? Fluorine method is a chemical analysis method. Then, in the process of fossilification, fossilification, bones absorb fluorine, which is present in soil and water. Depend upon the percentage of fluorine in the fossil, technicians analyze the relative age of the fossil. This method is very complex and critical one. In this method, the technician should analyze soil composition, acidity or pH, texture and humidity, etc. After analyzing all these facts, only technician can conclude the relative age of a fossil. Can conclude the relative age of a fossil. So, something. Fluorine method, then collagen method. So, this is reverse to the nitrogen method. This fluorine method and nitrogen method, these two methods are same to same. in the fossilification. See, these two methods are same. In the fossilification, bones absorb the fluorine which is present in the soil or water. But in the fossilification, in the process, bones lose the collagen and the nitrogen. The nitrogen is present in amino acids, protein. Total bone is made by protein only. Is it? Again, in the protein, in between cells, some fibrous proteins are there. Collagen. This collagen is a fibrous intercellular protein present in the bone. Not only but in all muscles and everything also, but particularly in the bone here. So this one is gradually, when fossil age is increasing, the fossil lose its collagen percentage. At the same time, it lose the nitrogen percentage also. On the basis of that, if this is a fresh collagen percentage this much, in this much, that means for 100 years this much percent reduce, for 1000 years this much reduce. On the basis of that, they can conclude something. Here also again, the loss of collagen and nitrogen based on definitely soil nature. Is it? Soil composition, humidity, soil pH, its texture, definitely these factors play again prominent role here also. On the basis of that, yes, technicians analyze the relative age of the fossil and the matter. That one only. Collagen method. What is collagen? Collagen is a extracellular fibrous protein present in bones. Extracellular fibrous protein present in bones. In the process of fossilification, bones lose collagen. On the basis of collagen percentage, technicians analyze the age of, the relative age of fossil. In this method also, technicians should consider soil composition, pH, humidity, texture, etc. Is it? Yeah. Nitrogen method. Same to same. Remove collagen, write nitrogen. But nitrogen is present in amino acids. The bones are made by amino acids only, proteins only. So remaining story is it? In place of collagen, use nitrogen, that's it. In the process of fossilification, is it bones lose nitrogen. Okay, serration method. Museum. First of all, see, in museums, they arrange these archaeological artifacts. So first, after excavating, so they exhibit in the museums. First, technicians, they try to something, this structure is something, this structure is something, this structure is something, then try to arrange from crude to most sophisticated. So then, after arranging from crude shape to most sophisticated, they can understand. Okay, this crude one, okay, this is the first. Next, yes, this may be, this is the very sophisticated one last. Like that, first they observed in the museums. This complete big rock itself they use, okay. The small tiny pieces, okay. This extraordinary technology is there. That means, serration method is a museum technique. So, on the basis of that means, on the basis of the fact that gradually technology develop and in the process of technological progress, is it new innovations always replace the old and crude. On the basis of that, technicians understand, okay, this is just a very crude rock piece. Okay, this may be the earlier one. Yeah. Somewhat, slightly, okay, some techniques, both sides broken out. Okay, this may be the second. Yeah. This is fully sophisticated one, completely designed. Okay, this may be the next one. Next, okay, metal. Okay, metal one is the last one. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah. So, on the basis of tool technology, yeah, they arrange from crude to sophisticated, highly modified. Then they try to understand, okay, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, this is this. That means serration. Yeah. Museum method. In this, they arrange the tools from crude to the finished one. That means most sophisticated one. Then they try to analyze the process of tool technology. Is it gradual change in the tool production? Yes. The evolutionary process of the tools, something like that. Something like that. That is serration method. Read that one also. So, serration method is a museum method. museum method. In this method, they arrange the artifacts in a proper order from crude to highly sophisticated. It is based on the fact that new technology replace the old and crude. After arranging the tools and artifacts on the basis of style and shape, technicians try to understand the change of technology and the evolutionary process of tools. So that is relative methods. Okay. Then what is archaeology? Something. Chronology is over. Relative and absolute dating methods. Yeah. Then broad outlines of prehistoric cultures. Prehistoric cultures. Shall we see first overall picture? Then shall we go for in detail? So this culture means beginning of using of tools. Yeah. So beginning of the tool use of the tool, that is the indication of the beginning of the culture. Yeah. When man started to use first rock as a tool, that is the beginning of the culture, that is rock cultures, lithic cultures. Yeah. Then gradually the metal replaced the rock. When man started to use metal, that is beginning of civilization. Yeah. That is the most advanced one. That's why that comes under civilization. That means demarcation between culture and civilization, that is script. Is it? Alphabets. Then use of the metal. If these three are there, then that comes under civilized. Yeah. So according to modern definition, that is a different again. Yeah. Where modern, the most sophisticated, highly advanced law, judiciary, legislature, bureaucracy is there, that is the most civilized. Now, definition of civilization is changed. Civilization means what? the most advanced part of the culture. That is civilization. That means civilization is progressive, always progressive, somewhat different than the earlier. So something in definition also, evolutionary process is going on. Earliest definitions, latest definitions, something that differ. That is different dimension, of course. Whatever use of metal, script and alphabet, phonetics indicate civilization. Use of simple rock tools indicate cultural development. That means cultural beginning. So the first cultures are rock cultures, then metal cultures. In rock culture, 3 cultures are there: Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Is it? Old rock age, middle rock age, new rock age. Again, this Paleolithic has again 3 divisions. We know that. Lower, middle, upper Paleolithic. Then metal cultures. In metal also 3 divisions are there: copper, bronze and iron. But in the beginning, human used copper tools and rock tools at a time. That's why that is known as Chalcolithic. That means Chalcolithic is a transition phase from rock to metal. Is it? Then after Chalco itself is known as copper. Then after that, bronze. Bronze means there is a metallurgical age, mixing, alloy. After that, iron. Is it? So these are the cultures, civilizations. That's why they mentioned same to same: Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic, but copper, bronze and iron. Of course, bronze, copper, bronze, both are same branch only, that one. Strictly speaking, Chalcolithic itself is a copper. Okay, no problem. Then first, shall we see the total, all the culture, how gradually evolutionary process has taken place. Then from tomorrow to each and every shall we see. So first one is lower Paleolithic. We know that one already. Is it? In chronology we discussed already. Is it? Yeah. Lower Paleolithic, then middle Paleolithic, then upper Paleolithic, after Paleolithic, then Mesolithic, then after Meso, Neolithic, then after Neo, Chalco, then after Chalcolithic, bronze, then after bronze, iron. Is it? Yeah. Then tell me yourself, when this lower Paleolithic cultures came into existence, when the cultures flourished actually, what is the time of lower Paleolithic? 2 million to 1 lakh BC. Is it? Yeah. Then middle Paleolithic. Yeah. 1 lakh to 40,000 BC. Yeah. Upper Paleolithic. 40,000 to 10,000 BC. Mesolithic. 10,000 to 6000 BC. Neolithic, 6000 to 4500 BC. Chalcolithic, 4500 BC to 3000 BC. Then Bronze Age, 3000 BC to 1200 BC. Then Iron Age, 1200 to 1000 BC. Is it? We know this one already. Sure. Then, who are the builders of Lower Paleolithic? Who are the builders? What is that epoch? Lower Pleistocene, Middle Pleistocene, Upper Pleistocene. Is it? Then remaining all comes under Holocene. Is it? Yeah. Then who are the builders in Lower Paleolithic? Homo habilis and Homo erectans. Yeah. Is it? Lower Paleolithic cultures were built by Homo habilis and Homo erectans. Then Middle Paleolithic cultures were built by Neanderthal man. Is it? Then Upper Paleolithic cultures were built by Homo sapien, particularly Cro-Magnon in Europe. Then from Meso to man only. Is it? So almost by Upper Pleistocene, perfect Homo sapiens came into existence. Is it? Then here basically in archaeology they concentrate on the time period. Is it? Then sites, then what type of tools they used. Shall we see sites later on? It's a very complex one. Number of sites you must memorize. Yeah. Then what type of tools they used. See, first of all, in Lower Paleolithic, crude rock tools. They are known as simply hand axe. That means they collect one big rock, then by using another rock, they break it some edge, then a sharpened edged piece will come. Then they use it as a tool to dig the roots, to break the bones, to kill the animal, something like that. Such a tools are known as hand axes. Yeah. They are big core tools. That's why Lower Paleolithic cultures are also known as hand axe cultures or core cultures. Then In Middle Paleolithic, man used maximum flakes. Flake means after breaking a rock, you see, if they use the major rock itself, there's a core one. If they use the removed chips, the chip is known as flake. That means in Middle Paleolithic, the maximum used flakes along with the hand axe. Hand axe is present throughout the Paleolithic period. Throughout the Paleolithic period. But the flake number is very negligible here. The flake number increased in the second. Middle Paleolithic. That's why Middle Paleolithic culture is known as flake culture. Then in Upper Paleolithic, see, these flakes are retouched, rubbing and something, polishing. They are known as blades and burins. That's why Upper Paleolithic culture is known as blade and burin culture. Then in Mesolithic, man used small rock pieces. See, particularly in Pleistocene, the glacial period, that one, is it? Almost 4 glacial periods are there. What are that? Gunch, to Mindale. This Gunj to Mindale period itself is known as lower. This Mindale to Risk. Mindale to Risk is known as Middle Paleolithic. Risk to Worm itself is known as Upper Paleolithic. Is it? That means up to the end of Pleistocene, glacial periods are there. Gunj, Mindale, Risk, Worm. Is it? So, completely in Europe, in North America, again in Asia, the major continent is completely under coverage of ice. No land. Land is there, but land is completely under coverage of ice glaciations. At the time, the forest area, grasslands are completely negligible. Only some areas here and there, some grasslands, some forest area is there. Remaining almost 90%, the northern hemisphere completely under coverage of glacials. So, a huge scarcity of the food material. No land. How man cultivate? Even at the time, just a ape-like Australopithecus converting into the human-like. Mind also not developed. Technology also not there. Is it? So, human nature also very primitive. Again, land is not available. So, man is completely animal-like. So, man depending on food gathering, hunting only. Just like the animal. But using some rocks as a tools. So, almost up to Pleistocene, no land. Is it? No agriculture. Nothing is there. So, almost in Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic, Upper Paleolithic, man is basically a food gatherer and hunter and nomad. In all three periods, lower, middle, upper, that means entire Paleolithic. Man is a food gatherer, hunter and nomad. Nomad means just moving from one place to another in search of food material. At that time, the major animals, they are mammoth, the biggest mammal, bigger than the elephant, mammoth. This is the major source of food. Man is basically non-vegetarian. Reason is, vegetarian diet is very negligible. Of course, man from the beginning omnivorous. He used both, but maximum they used mammoth flesh only. At the same time, here and there, grasslands are there, forest also there. Otherwise, how animals survive? Even this also needs some grass, no, definitely. Yeah. That means in some areas, sheep, goat, deer. So these animals are there, but the major source of survival, that is definitely mammoth. That's why in lower, middle, upper Paleolithic cultures, man living in groups, hunting this biggest animal is a major source of survival. That's why that economic system, that hunting, that is known as big game hunt. This big game hunt, is a major source of survival throughout the Paleolithic cultures. In all three, lower, middle, upper. But some change in tool technology. In lower, man used hand axe, core only. Next, he started to use the flakes, blade-like structures. Then again, the blades are again retouched. That means flakes are retouched, known as blades and burins. But in all three, hand axe is the major. It's clear first. Then, after end of Pleistocene, glacial periods also end. Then, warm climatical conditions start. When atmospheric temperature increases gradually, high melting of ice. Then, when ice started to melt at high rate, then gradually land exposed. Then, due to melting of ice, number of rivers, streams, then that water enter into low-lying areas, then water bodies, lakes, pools. First time man experienced rivers, streams, water pools, tanks, lakes, something like that. Then huge glaciation is there. In earlier times, almost it goes on reducing. One side land exposed, one side rivers formed. That rivers will bring sedimentation. Gradually, that also going to store, deposit somewhere. Then gradually alluvial soils, fertile soils. Then expansion of grasslands, forest. Huge climatical change, environmental change, ecological change. When this environmental change occurred, the biggest animal, mammoth, and that mammoth is perfectly adapted to the glaciations only, not to warm climatical condition. When climatical condition become reverse, cool to warm, mammoth end, completely disappeared. Then this big deers migrated to the poles. Now we call them polar deers. Some sheep and goats here and there, their number is negligible in earlier times. All of a sudden increasing is not possible, but that became inevitable to depend upon small sheep and goats. At the same time, water bodies are gradually increasing. Rivers, is it? So, pools, lakes, gradually increasing. So, fishing, catching birds. That means, first time in Mesolithic man started to use fish catching, fishing, fowling, and hunting of small sheep and goat. This is known as small game hunting. That means from big game hunt to man shifted to small game hunt in Mesolithic. Then in Paleolithic cultures, man used big rocks, hand axes. Now such a big rocks are no way useful. Of course flakes also used, but this is the major one throughout. But gradually here flakes increase, here blades and burins increase. Understand what I am saying, is it? Yes. Then all of a sudden big animal end. Then what about the tool? What to do for big rocks? Then first time man started to use small rock pieces. Collecting small rock pieces, flakes, and rubbing and producing hook like fish hook. Arrowheads, spears, throwers. That means small rock pieces. That's why here tools are known as microliths. That's why this technology, this tool culture, tool culture is known as microlith culture. Lower Paleolithic tool culture is known as hand axe culture. Middle Paleolithic is known as flake culture. Upper Paleolithic is known as blade and burin culture. Mesolithic culture is known as microlith culture as per the tool technology. Then the major source of survival, that is small game hunt. That means this including both fishing, fowling, that means catching fish, catching birds, and even hunting sheep and goat. At the same time, open hunting, earlier, no forest, no grasslands. Of course, here and there, when animal entered into the open land, then people are hunting that. That means open hunting earlier. Now, grasslands increasing, forest increasing, animal size is very small, sheep, goat, can't visible. Then hide and seek. Small game. Shifting towards small game hunt and hide and seek hunting start. Something like that in Mesolithic. Total technology change, source of survival also changing. Is it? Then in Neolithic, Here man used almost three-dimensional rock tools. After collecting rocks, pebble, after rubbing, polishing, started to use. That means in this period man started to use grinding and polishing tools. That's why Neolithic cultures are known as grinding and polishing cultures as per the tool technology, as per the tool. So in Mesolithic, almost glacial periods end, forest area one side increasing, grasslands increasing, at the same time soil exposure, then rivers gradually started to deposit, alluvial deposit, sedimentation, gradually fertile soils came into existence in Mesolithic itself. In Mesolithic itself, man started a primitive type of agriculture. Slash and burn agriculture here and there, not throughout the world, but in Neolithic, first time agriculture became prominent. Then pastoralism became prominent. That means domestication of animal, pastoral, and domestication of plants, agriculture, first time predominantly came into existence in Neolithic. Neolithic. That's why scholars use Neolithic as a first revolutionary period in human history. Anyhow, in Neolithic only first time agriculture and domestication of animal became very popular. But this agriculture and domestication of animal both started in Mesolithic itself. Mesolithic itself. But in Mesolithic the traces of agriculture is there. Traces of domestication of animals are there here and there somewhere in the world. Not throughout the world. But first time agriculture became prominent throughout the world in the Neolithic. In Asian subcontinent, Mehrgarh is the first agricultural site. At Mehrgarh, almost 7000 BC itself, agriculture came into existence. That's why that is known as the pre-Harappan site. Is it? So whatever, of course, Neolithic, Mehrgarh, Kodisi, Amri, is it? Many sites. Shall we see later on what are that? So agriculture and pastoral became prominent here. Then not only this, villages. When man started sedentary life, a permanent life, then agriculture, then pastoral. Along with that, village establishments also. Again, first time, wheel and pottery. Also came into existence in Neolithic. In Neolithic. Then Chalcolithic. This is the first metal age. That means this is the first civilization period. First time man started to use metal, but here man used both metal plus rock, particularly copper. That's why it is known as copper culture. So along with copper, man continued the rock tool also. That's why it is known as chalcolithic. A transition from rock to metal. First time man identified copper at Anatolia. Almost 6000 BC itself, man started copper, but almost by 3000, this copper became very prominent throughout the world. But in Anatolia region, 6000 BC itself, copper came into existence. They used copper axes, copper needles, copper hooks, many copper sickles, copper hammers, copper plates. Of course, they used abundant number of copper tools and vessels. But almost 3000 BC, copper became the major one throughout the world, including in India, in Harappan region. You see? Yeah. Then, this is here in Chalcolithic first time, in Neolithic agriculture start, pastoral start, domestication of, is it cattle something? Villages, gradually, these villages became big cities, towns. That means, the first urbanization started in Chalcolithic throughout the world. But first urbanization came into India in Bronze Age, that is Harappan Age. But in the world, first urbanization, that is Chalcolithic. But in India, in Bronze Age is the first urbanization. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chenhu-daro, Lothal, Dholavira, Alamgirpur, Kalabangan, Rupar, many sites, many cities, many towns. Harappa, Bronze Age. Anyhow, throughout the world, number of cities and towns came into existence in Chalco. Egyptian culture, Mesopotamian culture, China cultures, almost many came into existence in Chalco period only. Big cities and towns. At the same time, in Neolithic cultures, agriculture, pastoral is there, but in society, no individual property. The total lands, agricultural lands, total cattle belongs to community. That means Neolithic is a community-based society. No individual property. First time when this metal came, metal extraction is very technical based one, knowledge based one. So, intellectual people always selfish. They never give anything free to other. What I will get? Start selfishness. If simply using rock, after taking 2 rocks, break it. If you are unable to produce rock tool, simple 5 minutes I will take, then I saw some market. Levo bhai, chale jao. Then when technology improve, when skill supplying, extracting copper and producing tools, it needs a lot of time. Why should I give to you freely? It takes almost 6 months, 7 months, 1 year. I am not ready to give freely to you. You give me 10 bag rice, I will give 1 copper sickle to you. Means first time some sort of individual property concept start here. Then small chota leaders which are present in lower Paleolithic itself. Of course, leadership is very prominent, Without leadership, how they involved in the big game hunt? How it is possible? One has to lead the group. Automatically, that person will become leader automatically. A primitive leadership is there in lower Paleolithic itself, but that became very prominent in upper Paleolithic itself. The same leaders, small leaders. Now, when individual property became prominent, they started to declare wars, conquering and declaring, I am the chief, I am the king, pay the tax. Start. Cities, towns, kings, kingdoms, taxation, to impose tax, to collect revenue, weights and measurements. Standardized weights and measurements. Then using of horse. That means society gradually became complex. Then in bronzes, metallurgical knowledge further expanded. Copper plus tin mixing. That means it is a metallurgical era, metallurgical period. So, use of metal. This metallurgy became very prominent here. Is it? Allied technology. Not only that, again further expansion of cities, towns, kings, tax, weights and measurements, horse. Not only that, this is the period of the wars throughout the world. At the same time, trade and commerce became very popular here. So, to enhance trade, to improve agriculture, to impose more and more tax, definitely these kings or priests, whatever, they encouraged agriculture, trade, commerce, public roads, public buildings, dams. Society became complex. Perfectly planned cities, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, is it? Citadels, upper town, lower town, fortified around walls, widen roads, is it? Dividing the society into blocks, grid system, water supply, irrigation facilities, safe drinking water supply, municipality system, street lights. You know Harappa? Spend all these points. That means perfect village administration, city administration, yes, administrative system, multi-level administration, town planning, is it? Public halls, yes, great bath, dancing halls, yes, art and architecture, what not? It became very complex. Then, almost after invention of the iron, this complexity further expanded. Iron is very hard metal, is it? Useful to clean the thick forest also. When iron came into existence, then cleaning the huge deforestation forest, expanding agriculture lands, then throughout the world, agriculture expansion, domestication, trade and commerce increase, industrialization, complexity increase. The small kings, empires, emperors, Again, second urbanization started in iron again. Something it goes on like that. This is a small line. How gradually is it? Yeah, food gather hunter to how gradually human society became most complex one. Yes. Then shall we see tomorrow each and everything. 100% in anthropology they ask Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Remaining almost they never ask. If you see the old papers, almost Neolithic repeated. Reason is that is the turning point in human history. Yes. Almost Neolithic, many times Neolithic. Something like that. Shall we see the total? Shall we see all? But as per examination, I am saying Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, and remaining they never ask. Okay, shall we stop today? Shall we see tomorrow?